All right.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to the Pluralist Method.
Yes. Thank you for
It's
having me.
Wednesday, so we're gonna do a little quick live stream, more lighthearted topic this time around.
Yeah.
We're just
Not nearly as much research either.
We'll save those for Sunday.
Yeah.
Those will be our
Definitely.
what if streams.
Mm-hmm.
But today we're going to just go over some of the candidates for the upcoming election. It's topical. It's on everyone's mind.
Yeah, it's literally the beginning of the primary race, and technically, I mean, the first debates were
Still over a year out, but
yeah, exactly.
Got a lot to do.
It's kind of like Christmas. It starts earlier and earlier every year. But no, I mean, with so many candidates announcing their candidacy, it's become a big deal. It's actually record-breaking, which is kind of cool also. I mean, 2016 kind of took the cake at that time, but I think we're kind of entering a new political world where this is how political primaries are going to be fought. It's just going to be a huge amalgamation of different people just freaking thrown into a ring. And
well, that was the thing with the 2016 election, at least for the Democratic side of things. Kind of a limited field. You know, Hillary was sort of made up to be the one and only choice, kind of like her turn.
Oh yeah. And then the Republican primary.
Well, that was what we have now.
Yeah, that's what we. Yeah. So I think
it'd be a little more civilized, but
maybe.
For now.
Yeah. We got some interesting candidates we're going to be going over, and I know you have a tier system that we set up.
Yeah, so these have been really popular. You know, you see all the other streamers and YouTubers falling into
I personally don't.
So we've got tier lists. So we decided let's do one for the candidates, and we'll kind of use as a springboard to discuss some of the ones, your favorites, and kind of find out what we think are the best options or underdogs, or who we might like, even if they might perhaps not win, but we'll go over a few. So we've got all the candidates here ready to go.
Are they viewable to our viewers?
Yes, viewers can see it up there on the screen.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm just going to shoot out some names. I'm going to keep it at random. I'm not going to go alphabetical order.
Oh shoot! Okay.
And we'll start with a bigger name first.
Donald J. Trump. No.
All right. Let's start with Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard. She's actually the first Hindu to be in Congress ever. So that's kind of record breaking right there. She's also prior military, which is you kind of get that base of people just automatically supports you.
I believe she was elected to the Hawaiian State Congress at 21, right?
Possibly.
Quite young, yeah.
I actually didn't know that. That's really damn cool. But no, she has some pretty interesting foreign policies as well. Kind of, I don't know, it's kind of over the all over the place.
Sort of shooting all over the board.
Yeah, it's very odd. I will say before we go any further, if anyone hears a candidate and likes the way we talk about them, there is a website. I don't know. I don't want to plug another website, but it's called ontheissues.org. You can type in names, find the platforms and the histories of previous political
sponsorship
candidates
going on here. He's getting some money slipped in his back pocket.
Yeah, some backroom deals.
His website here.
No, but it's an organization that basically, they basically just they do an overview of the political platforms of the candidates. There's also a quiz you can take to figure out where your political ideologies are.
Everyone loves taking those online quizzes.
Yeah, this one's more of an official one. It is a bit dated, the quizzes.
Yes, we have had already one drop out Monday and another one joined.
Yeah, oh man. And then actually, with Moten and then Steyer today.
We'll get to that. To that.
But Tulsi Gabbard, she's all right. I personally, I don't see her going to the top. I mean, I hear personally a lot of people talking about the lanes that each candidate will have to fill, and I don't think there are enough lanes, or I don't think she has a lane to really to really excel in the polls.
She kind of got a bit of a bump for her calling out of Tim Ryan.
Oh yeah, the Al Qaeda thing.
Yeah. So she got a little of a
It wasn't the
boost
Taliban
there, but not
It was
not
Al
really.
Qaeda.
So where are we going to rate her on?
She's
the,
not
tier
in
list?
F, obviously.
Okay, but what's your opinion as far as her policies go, and as far as her being her winnability as a candidate?
Winnability. I honestly think if she went into a general election, she would do all right. Maybe I don't know if she would win a general election. As for a primary,
A general election in general, or against Donald Trump?
Against Donald Trump specifically. Right now, a lot of people are talking about strategically which candidate will be most likely to defeat Donald Trump politically.
Sure.
Kind of beat him at his own game.
If you were
kind of
even
thing.
running off of that platform entirely.
Yes. Well, we'll talk about them when they come up. But yeah, actually, there's quite a few of them. Her policies, she's like we said, she's kind of all over the place, foreign policy wise. She is prior military, so she does have. There is kind of a component where you and I spoke off air, where military veterans tend to be a little more even keeled when it comes to some foreign policy issues. As far as domestic policy, she's also kind of odd. If I'm remembering correctly, she'd be considered a more progressive candidate.
What she did, it was, oddly enough, she actually opposed the legalization of gay marriage back when that originally came around. But of course, she's changed her mind now.
The same thing on abortion back in the day. And that's actually due to her religious beliefs, in my opinion. I think she grew up in a pretty strongly conservative household. I remember listening to an interview that she was in, and one of her, I think her father's Catholic and her mother's Hindu, a practicing Hindu. What?
Nothing. Continue.
Okay.
I'm reading the chat. Okay. Smirk. Ignore
I was about to say, man. But no. They go with. I mean, that kind of household can I guess affect you, and
sure.
I mean, you're allowed to evolve. I don't fault anyone for that. So as far as like changing your mind.
So as far as tier, let's get on. We got a lot to get.
Oh yeah. Oh shoot, yeah. This is not going to be a 2-hour thing.
What are we going to put her?
I'm going to put her in
C.
Yes.
C-tier? All right.
C, 100%. Are you in agreement there?
I think that's a reasonable spot to place her.
Yeah. All right.
Let's
go with our next one.
Let's go with O'Rourke.
He will be D easily.
Right off the bat.
O'Rourke. He started off really strong. Like when
lots of hype surrounding his
when he announced his candidacy,
over 1 million in 24 hours, I believe he raised.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like, it just fucking hit it off. Are we allowed to cuss on this?
Well, we'll keep it in like PG-13.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So like 2 F-bombs per show. One per show. Dang. Oh gosh darn it. No, but Beto O'Rourke. He is not well studied on domestic policy or foreign policy. He's inexperienced. Unlike some other candidates, he does not even have. He doesn't have even low-level executive experience, like you'll see with Messam and Buttigieg, things like that. So literally, he is very unexperienced.
Despite that, he had a lot of backing from the DNC.
Yeah, I mean,
like a young gun,
He has some ideologies.
We're one to talk, but
oh yeah. Well, he some of his ideologies are fundamentally Democrat leaning, and the way he talks and his energy is quite
Appealing
nice. Yeah,
to people.
But no, his flop in the
And he definitely showed that in the debate. Yes,
Yeah,
he showed his inexperience. Definitely, probably one of the
bad.
worst performers in the.
It was cringy, actually.
Yeah, in the debates, I would agree.
Yeah, it was rough.
So we're placing him B tier.
Yep.
No O'Rourke fans over here.
No.
All right, next up, let's get kind of an oddball. It's more of an unknown. Got anything to say on Bennett?
Bennett, I actually know a small amount about Bennett. He is an older white gentleman, one of the many that are polling probably less than 1% at the moment.
0.5 or something.
Yeah. So other than the top tier candidates, there's a group of other candidates that all fit kind of this same kind of mold. It's very I don't want to use the term status quo kind of thing, but they're
falls along those lines.
Yeah, I'd call them old school kind of Democrats, more reminiscent of
like
the 2008, 2010, 2012 ish,
John Kerry type.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you kind of, it's reminiscent of that quite a bit. So, I mean, nothing too special. If he was in a much smaller field, there'd be possibility there. I mean, but then again, I could say that for a few of the names up there.
Sure.
I'll put Bennett along with Beto O'Rourke.
In the D tier.
Yeah, in the D tier.
Think anybody's going to fall into the F tier?
There might be a couple.
I will say, trying to.
Well, there's one that I can think of.
Provide information
for sure.
on Bennett. Michael Bennett is the candidate. Michael Bennett is definitely not the first name that comes up when you search Michael Bennett.
That's really sad, actually.
The Seahawks player basically fills all those searches. But anyways,
he's the Washington
Seahawks.
No. This guy.
Yeah.
No, he is is he governor of? See, I don't even know exactly. I know he's.
Wasn't that
So we got Hickenlooper and Inslee are both kind of. Well, no, one of them is.
Bennett's the other Colorado. Inslee's Washington.
Oh, Bennett is the.
I just looked at this.
Bennett's a senator from Colorado.
Yes.
Hickenlooper.
Hickenlooper's the governor.
Or the former governor. He's not even current governor, right?
I'm not sure if he is, but yeah, they actually worked closely together.
Oh.
And then I believe Inslee is the Washington.
Inslee's the Washington.
Yes.
Those three, I do get confused. They're running on kind of similar platforms as well. From what I can remember, so
Inslee does have a pretty big environmental push.
Inslee especially is an environmentalist. I mean that's his platform.
Yeah,
but,
that's his.
Well, I mean, we might as well go on to Inslee then next if you're cool with that, because because I mean his whole platform is kind of running on the environment in the debates when the moderators ask what is the primary thing that you want to accomplish within the first 100 days. I mean,
and I have to say, climate change and environmental issues in particular didn't really get much of a spotlight in the debates. They were kind of pushed to the side.
I was actually a little bit surprised by that as well. Well, I don't want to say that too much. I knew immigration was going to be one of the forefront things, especially with what had happened literally a couple days before, or the day before, I think, with the story about what was it, Oscar and his daughter drowning on the swim over.
A few people mentioned that.
Yeah, and
then healthcare, of course.
And then the healthcare issue, of course, with such diversity between candidates, healthcare is an obvious question to ask.
And gun control.
Gun control was pretty big up there as well. I think you'll see a little bit more of that in later debates, especially
hopefully, we'll start to dive into some of these more.
And as candidates get a little more time to speak as others drop out.
The pool.
Yeah.
Slowly.
So
I'll put Inslee.
I'll honestly put Inslee with Tulsi Gabbard.
Up him on the tier.
I think that I mean, being being the fact that he was a leader in a purplish, I'll say ish kind of state, even at the time, is kind of a big deal, and it stands to reason that I mean that could be good for America in general. Mm-hmm. I mean, it kind of points to the fact that you're going to be able to work across the aisle.
I think that's actually one of I don't want to go back, but one of Bennett's sort of push
him also.
He was able to sort of cross party lines, mm-hmm. that bipartisanship.
No, I personally like that in a primary debate. I don't think that will probably go over too well with certain coalitions of the Democratic base.
Sure.
There are some groups that are kind of tired of making deals and tired of compromise.
Especially when they haven't quite worked before.
Oh yeah, but I still hold out hope.
All right,
let's go to our next one.
Up, let's do Castro.
Castro is cool. No, I absolutely. I think, in all honesty, first off, I do want to say I think that his
he had pretty good showing in the debate.
He did, but I'll be very honest. Decriminalizing border crossing is not a good idea, just from an immigration standpoint.
Sure.
If you're actually going to study like policy, most analysts have come to the conclusion that or I don't want to even say most. There's a significant number of analysts that would say that that could increase the number of immigrants into the country. Mm-hmm. Just on that, because you're broadcasting to the world that it's not as big of a deal. What you should do, or what should be done, is once you're in the executive branch, you have a lot of leeway as to how you go about executing the laws that are put on the books. So you kind of quietly,
AKA not in the way it's being done right now.
Yeah, no, trust me, that's bad. No, you quietly try to lax it a little bit. But if you make the statement like we are changing the laws and decriminalizing illegal immigration into the country, then that is that's a message
kind of
to the rest of the world.
Overhaul our issue with
mm-hmm.
Border security, and
in addition,
people might say to bring all the illegal immigrants who are already in the country into the system, into the
I will also say, in addition, there should be the whole reason that even came up was because that law in particular was being used to separate families mm-hmm. From one another. So that little loophole does need to be changed, because that's unacceptable. But you can't just decriminalize it. You fix the problem. You don't just find a small issue and then take out what is it called? Throw away the something with the bath
with
water.
The baby with the bath.
Yeah, that. Yep, I know sayings.
So back to Castro. We got off on a little tangent here.
But yeah, with Castro, he's actually pretty moderate. I
wouldn't say he's moderate. I'd say he's a fairly progressive candidate.
I mean, there are some of his. He's trying to portray himself as a pretty progressive candidate, but you got to remember. He
definitely tried to push that message in the debate.
Yeah, but you got to remember, in all honesty, he is a politician from Texas. I mean, when it comes down to like brass tacks, that's kind of all you need to know. Like.
That's a bit of an overgeneralization there.
No. You're right. But no,
stereotyping all Texan.
A Democrat from Texas is not going to be the same as a Democrat from California. I mean, if you average them out, and if you take that, I mean, there are also some geographical differences that makes a Democrat from a border state in particular especially when you throw in the fact that it's a typically red border state.
It has been moving.
It has been moving
further to the
2024. We'll see some stuff possibly. Maybe the one after that, but the presidential cycle after that. But that'll be very interesting.
Especially in some of the more urban areas such as Houston, San Antonio,
Dallas,
Austin.
Yeah. No, 100%. But with that being the case, he's got if he's going to be a politician from that state, if he wants to get stuff done, you have to work and compromise with the other side, and that takes, if you're going to be progressive, then that takes quite a bit of sneaky kind of dealings, and if you want to be a moderate, that just takes honesty and compromise and maybe a little bit of sneaking as well. But no, I'd say he's.
What do you think his electability is?
I'll put him above Tulsi Gabbard and Inslee.
Slip him up to B tier?
Yeah. Only because he has some interesting things to say. He's pretty likable.
He's made a bit of a bump in the polls.
Oh yeah, for 100%, and I definitely like him over Beto O'Rourke.
Okay.
As far
what was that about?
Well, Beto's also a Texas Democrat, which
Former.
I mean, yes, but still.
And of course, Castro was also the HUD secretary.
Yeah, the former HUD secretary.
Obama administration.
And
so
that's another.
There's some more experience there, and.
Oh, 100%. And that's another, actually, that was going to be another talking point for me, saying he's more of, I guess, a centrist, at least in today's Democratic Party. Obama.
Coming off of the Obama administration.
Well, yeah. Well, Obama was not a super progressive or a super liberal guy. Yeah,
if you, the way it's.
Yeah, so I should add the caveat of I'm making today's. I'm comparing Castro to today's Democratic Party rather than that of 2016.
So by 2030, Obama
before.
will basically be a Republican, right?
Certainly.
You heard it here first.
Yes.
All right.
The Republicans will love him.
Going from. Thanks, Obama. Will no longer be sarcastic.
That makes me so happy. All right. Let's go to our next one. Who?
Moving to from Texas to California, as you mentioned. Let's go with Harris.
Okay.
He's really gotten some attention.
You and I have personally talked about Harris.
For everybody talking about Harris.
Yes. I do not. I will try to leave my personal feelings out of it. At least for the ranking system. I don't like Harris that much. I really don't. During the debate, she basically stated that she would do everything through executive order.
And not only during the debate, I was actually listening to an interview today, and she was discussing gun control and how if she wasn't able to push that through Congress, she was like, executive action. No, that was the first thing she jumped to.
Yeah, no. If any Democrat is a critic of Donald Trump's misuse of his executive role, and they also decide that they want to support Kamala Harris, I think they're a hypocrite.
She seems really excited to jump right to executive order to get things done that she feels need to be pushed through.
So I will get off of my soapbox and say that other than that, a lot of other people like her. She does
definitely
seem
made probably the biggest splash during the debates.
Oh, 100%. She is easily she is in the tier with the tier with Biden, Sanders.
So we're going to put her in A tier?
Probably A. Yeah, I don't think
not a big fan, but her electability is quite high right now. So
100%.
Just that alone is gonna
and strategically, as much as I dislike her, if she got into a general election, I think she would she would pummel Donald Trump just in the way she talks and utilizes rhetoric. I think she utilizes it much more masterfully than Donald Trump does. And
Well,
some of
that's not very hard to do.
well, no, I mean, if you look at the rhetoric that Donald Trump uses,
Sure,
it's
sure. That's
simplistic,
true.
but it's
I take
quite
that back.
useful.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, he's
to
quite
say.
good at
Yeah.
it. Other policies aside,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I'd say yeah, that ability there could be the tipping point for her. So yeah, I don't want to talk about her anymore.
All right. Let's move on to de Blasio.
The mayor of New York.
That apparently New Yorkers don't even like him.
Yeah, no, his polling in New York is pretty bad. I'm actually surprised he decided to announce, but I guess since he saw other mayors kind of put their hats in the ring, he was like, well, I guess I can do it too. He didn't really do all that great in the debate.
Try to throw a couple shots out, but didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, nothing really stuck. I'm not really super impressed with him. I'll put him. I mean, what's he polling now? Do you know? He's under 1%. He's got to be under 1.
0.4?
0.4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just under.
Yeah, I'll put him with Bennett. And Beto.
All right. Let's move right next to him, Gillibrand.
I personally like Gillibrand quite a bit.
I noticed there was quite a bit of hate that I saw online.
Really?
After her.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
After the
That's
debates.
so surprising, man. Like, of the individuals
she
up on the debate,
definitely made her voice heard.
Yeah.
Using the limited time she had to kind of jump in on topics she felt, she wanted to make a point on.
Family issues was her primary topic, and women's rights was what she was very passionate about.
Well, I think she piggyback off of Bernie Sanders.
Well, that was the other thing I was gonna say.
Medicare for all.
The Medicare for all thing. Well, the thing is, she's actually worked on a lot of that.
Yes.
And though she is quite far left in a lot of her ideologies, especially with the healthcare thing, the way she comported herself during the debate, especially given the fact that even though Kamala Harris was the one who made this statement, we're not here to have a food fight. We're here to put food on the table.
And proceeded to have a food fight.
She proceeded to kind of argue with one another. But Gillibrand actually, in her character, showed that she tried to mediate the disagreements between other candidates. So when Bernie Sanders was attacked
and that
for
came
the
across
healthcare
as
for all,
appealing to you, but I mean, like I said, online I saw kind of a sentiment that people didn't really care for her style and the way she approached it in the debate.
I like her so much. She's cool, man. Okay.
Electability, though, do you think she's...
No, well, I mean, just... sorry, I can't believe I have to put Kamala Harris up at like the A list, and then I gotta basically put Gillibrand with Tulsi Gabbard.
We have to take your own opinion as well as.
I'm putting Gillibrand with Tulsi Gabbard, and actually maybe even less. What do you think? I'll let you do the tiebreaker on that. C or D.
You really seem to really be big for her. I was gonna let you bop her up to B tier actually.
Really?
Based on. I mean, we're basing it on, what you think is actually electable as well as your own opinion as far as where you would rank them.
Yeah, but in all honesty, there's... I personally would put her in the B tier, like as far as my personal ranking.
Put her in the B tier then.
You will? All right.
Just for you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I do want to add the caveat that electability-wise, it's quite unlikely. But I like her.
All right. Up next, let's move to Hickenlooper. Another one of these.
Hickenlooper. We'll be quick with him.
Alongside Bennett.
Yeah, alongside.
governor.
Yeah. He's down there. And actually, move Gillibrand to C. I can't. Yeah. I got to be honest.
It's going to be bottom loaded.
Well, I mean, that's going to be pretty obvious, especially with so many candidates. Only a few should hit the S.
Sure, but I want it to be more on your own opinion as well, not so much just where they're polling. I don't want it to kind of mirror where they're polling, basically.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, Castro's up in the B tier, and he's not polling super well. So, I mean, I don't think it's mirroring polling too much. Unless we want to put Kamala down.
We haven't got
F.
some of the big pollers.
Sorry. Anyway, no. Yeah, we'll keep Gillibrand in C, and we'll put Hickenlooper in D, just due to the fact that he's kind of pretty standard. Washington.
So Gillibrand too.
Keep Gillibrand in C. Yeah. Because I have other people that I'll put in B as well coming up. That'll make it a little less bottom heavy.
Oops.
All right. Some technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical.
Ruh-roh. How could you, Jeremy? Unacceptable. You having fun? Looks like you're writing an essay over there. Get in here. So, hold on. Got a thing over here.
Is everybody still there? Can everybody still see? And here?
All right.
Is it still up?
Yeah, it looks like it's still up.
I accidentally bumped a refresh.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Who are we moving on to next?
So we just passed Hickenlooper. Whoever you think our next one should be.
Let's move to Ryan. Another one of these.
Oh my gosh, man! Tim Ryan will also be with Hicken. Actually, no. We're gonna put Tim Ryan in the F. Only because he looks like he's drugged out of his mind.
In the debates.
Dude, that looked rough.
He looked like either that or he's incredibly nervous.
He had the biggest eyes I have ever seen in my life.
I saw him blink once.
No, it was bad. It was bad. It was like you're driving home late at night, and trees are surrounding you, and all of a sudden you have your this deer appears in your headlights, and
it's actually
you see
Tim
the
Ryan.
eyes, and it's really Tim Ryan.
He'll be in the 2020 election. Moving on, not much to say there.
Nope.
Kind of got the short end of the stick. All right, Delaney.
Again, I mean, he
started the first one out of the gate, but didn't really make much headway.
No, yeah, he did not make a splash. Being that he's from Maryland, which oddly enough, Maryland has. I thought it was completely blue. There are some. I guess
we have some more rural areas.
Of Maryland, that
peninsula. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually
right into the Eastern Shore.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. Maryland actually has a pretty. I wouldn't call them a swing state at all, but I mean they have a healthy number of Republican. I guess citizens, constituents or whatever.
Sure.
So I mean, to be a Democrat or a Republican in Maryland, a lot of time it would help to be a little bit more moderate, and
he tends to fall along those.
Actually, very much so.
Yeah.
Probably more so than quite a few others, but. I don't
We're just dumping them in the F tier.
Yep. No, I like moderate.
So much time, but
really I mean, he is pulling really poorly.
All right. Let's go with Bullock. Do you know anything about this guy?
I know the name. from the debate. He didn't really talk that. No, he's the one who attacked Buttigieg on the. Wasn't he?
That was Swalwell.
That was Swalwell.
Yeah. Remember the frat boy guy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With the smirk on his face.
I don't like him. Man, I mixed them up too. No, I don't know enough about him to make a.
Dump him in the F tier.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. There's going to be quite a few of these candidates that, I mean.
I think we got most of them.
Yeah.
As far as.
We're coming up to some of the bigger names though too.
Swalwell's automatically. Dropped an F.
Yeah, I do not like. I don't like
Monday,
Swalwell.
So.
Yeah, I'm glad he did.
Klobuchar.
Klobuchar. Oddly enough, I'm gonna put her also with Castro. Klobuchar is pretty interesting.
Is that high up?
Yes, only due to the fact that I mean, the first thing you gotta understand is she's a Democrat from the. No, she's not Michigan. I think she's Minnesota or Wisconsin, one of those two. It's one of those two, I swear.
You're right.
But it's not Michigan. But no, she's from the Middle America kind of place, and it's one of those places that lost to Donald Trump in the 2016 election. So the fact that Klobuchar is a which state is it?
Minnesota.
Minnesota, cool. The fact that she is a congressman there, senator there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's still Congress. We had this semantics debate.
Because,
senator.
I mean, if someone calls out a congresswoman,
it could be a house. It could be a representative.
Most people, that's going to automatically spring to mind.
Okay.
While senator kind of holds more weight.
Okay, fair. But yeah, so due to the fact that she's a senator there, I mean that does actually mean something in my opinion, and for as it pertains to a general election, her ideologies would win back the coalition of individuals that the Democrats lost in 2016. Very much so.
Despite that, I mean, she isn't polling too well, and she didn't make much of a splash at the debates.
No, but we're a year out as far as
turn it around.
I think it's possible. Yeah, I personally wouldn't put her in B, just because I think that, in all honesty, she has more likelihood of getting to the general election than Gillibrand, even though I like Gillibrand more as far as her personal character. Now, while I like Gillibrand's character better, Klobuchar's political ideologies are actually a little bit closer to mine. Not in all aspects, but I mean, you hit the kind of a more moderate center lane with some lefter tendencies. Anyway, words are difficult.
You're a lefter.
She's a lefter.
She's an old lefter. All right.
But yeah,
let's move to Booker now.
Booker. I think, in all honesty, this is gonna be weird, but I think I really like him a lot. Booker, I think, could I'm gonna put him in the B's as well, only because I think, actually, well, should he be in B or C? Because the thing is,
I think he should be in B if you're gonna put Castro, Klobuchar in.
Yeah, if I'm putting them in B, then he should definitely be in B. I loved his answer on the gun issue.
Well, that's an issue he's definitely running on.
Oh yeah.
In particular.
Well, also due to the fact that
violence.
Yeah, I mean, he lived
from where he comes from. It's
exactly
a big issue there.
And I mean, that's a big deal. Also, he has some of the. I think he was the charter school guy, wasn't he? He ran on school vouchers or something. I gotta read a little more into it, but I knew that he had some ideas on while he was representing Newark. Is he still representing Newark?
No, he's a senator.
He's a senator now. Okay.
Yeah, he's a state senator for Jersey.
Okay, so yeah, he used to be the mayor of Newark. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know like too much about it, but I do know that he had there was some education reform that he wanted to go into, and whatever anyone's opinions on charter schools are, I don't know about that.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. But yeah,
too big of a topic to get into
that seems very controversial. A lot more controversial than I ever thought it would be. But yeah. There are some other implications as far as historically that kind of has as well, which is kind of rough also. But that can be tackled another time.
Agreed. All right. Let's move to Williamson.
F.
Come on.
Dude, no.
She's going to win on spiritualism and essential oils.
No.
Love.
It was rough. Any candidate who says
she got a lot of airtime.
Yeah. Any candidate who says we don't need plans, we just need love. No, we need plans. We need lots and lots of plans.
Really hated Donald Trump, and then next thing they know, they're on a debate stage.
Yeah, like
they
what?
Don't actually have anything.
It's like she really rubbed a genie's lamp, and then she was like, "Well, I kind of want to be up on that stage." We will win with love. I think her accent
changed like 3-4 times.
Was she? Yeah, like is she from the South or from New York?
Twang, and then it turned into something else entirely. I didn't know if she was trying to play a
character. Or maybe she's from New
Zealand. Or she was trying to New Zealand. She wanted us to become New Zealand.
Sister.
What was the first thing she said she was going to do was call the president of New Zealand.
Or the leader of New Zealand. I don't even.
What?
It was something. Nope. As far as.
We got some people in the chat who are big fans, I can tell.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Yes.
I do not have access to the chats, but I'm sure they love her. They are really upset that she's in the F tier.
Right. Moulton. I was just listening to some about him today. He was a veteran from the Iraq War. He's a congressman from Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of running on a foreign policy focus plan.
Yeah,
definitely attacked a lot of Trump's leadership abilities.
I personally want to hear a lot more about him, but just due to the fact that he wasn't in the debates.
He missed out on the debate, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say his chances of winning the general election is, or even the primary, is extraordinarily low.
From what I heard, the one interview I did listen to, I liked his approach, but he's definitely not.
Yeah.
Not gonna go
anywhere.
From that, I'll bump him up to D tier.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, you mentioned this even before, but the fact that he's one of the very few that are really running like on foreign affairs. I mean, that's big. And I'm kind of a nerd about that. So. I do want to learn more about him. And
if everybody watched our last live stream.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Buttigieg.
Buttigieg is my favorite. Put him in the S class. No. Is
anybody gonna make it in the S?
No one will make it in the S class. Buttigieg is personally my my favorite candidate. Of all of them,
as of now.
As of now, but I'll say his platform most closely represents my own of every candidate, easily.
Electability, though, you think he's?
I think he's electable. I don't know about in the primary, but in the general election, I think he could get there. In the primary, he may be too moderate for. He may be too moderate for the
but I mean that's
or for the Democratic Party.
Biggest appeals, a lot of people.
No, Biden. People say Biden is a moderate, but he is not actually a moderate. He is a moderate in today's standards of what a Democrat is, but today's standard of what a Democrat is much more left. With that in mind, Buttigieg, I don't want to say is super right or whatever, but he's got he incorporates topics that the right, the individuals to the right of the aisle, or on the other side of the aisle, if you will, that they're talking about. In the debate, no one really talked about this, but when Buttigieg was asked about immigration reform, he tackled not only the fact that we need to offer asylum, the fact that we need to stop separating families, but he also did mention the fact that we do need border security. Like, that is still a thing. And he actually kind of attacked Donald Trump on that by saying, like, and we're not going to do these medieval walls. We're going to do this in a more intelligent
approach
way.
To border security is a very backwards.
But that's actually, and these are my opinions. Of course, I'm the one saying them.
Fanboying out over here.
But no, like, that kind of talk is something that we actually need. And he articulates extraordinarily well. When he was giving the answer, he articulated it much better than I can of him articulating it.
As we hope most of these candidates would.
Yeah, exactly. But he did quite well in the debates. He also, of course, there's the issue with the black kid that was shot in South Bend that he was
kind of attacked on.
Yeah, he was, and he handled that well as well. He's easily my favorite candidate at this point. And I will say that his platform most closely represents my own. So I want to put him in with Kamala Harris.
All right, fair enough. The fanboying there.
Sorry. Yep, he's my favorite.
Let's go on to Sanders, the old Bernie.
So Bernie will likely not be president ever with his age at this point. I'll put him along with Tulsi Gabbard. Yep, that is
really?
A puppy.
You don't think he'll be up into B tier? I mean, he's still polling fairly well. I mean,
he's polling well,
he's
but
about second in line.
So the way I see it is, if the Democratic primary has a coalition of individuals that are going to support his ideologies, they will much more likely rally behind Elizabeth Warren rather than Bernie Sanders, only due to the fact that Elizabeth Warren actually has an extensive list of policy outlines that she, or not even outlines, they're not outlines, they're in-depth proposals.
Sure.
And even though I might not agree with them a whole lot, because I mean, her ideologies are much more left than mine, the way she comports herself is much better than the way Bernie Sanders does. It seems, in all honesty, that Bernie Sanders is like a record playing on a loop. You know, his heyday was in the 70s.
Would you say he's more or less electable now than he was back in?
Less now than he was in 16. Only because of the amount of candidates.
Would stand out a bit more if he'd have more of a shot?
If it was between him and one other candidate, he might actually be president. I don't think that that's going to be the case, though. He won't. Yeah, he's not going to make it. Other people are taking his thunder, if you will.
Well, you would jump him all the way down the sea.
I will. I personally, if you disagree, we can talk this out.
I mean, I don't know how far he's going to get, but I would definitely say he has probably a better chance over Castro, Klobuchar. Or at least along the same lines. And if you have them up in B tier.
Dang, why do you have to use logic? All right.
I mean, we're talking about...
Yeah, you're right.
These two could definitely drop out within a few months.
Actually,
for a bit longer.
that's probably...
But even if Bernie Sanders doesn't get it, I mean, he's going to be around for a bit longer.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Bernie Sanders has a lot more money, and I have not been that has not been a factor in any of this for me, so that could be a problem.
Not
with
to
my
mention,
tier,
due to his campaign in 2016, I mean, he has
a
more
base,
name recognition now, and a lot of people are still behind him.
Oh yeah, well that's why initially, like when Biden and Bernie first announced, they were the two front runners, if you will. I mean, their polling was significantly higher than everyone else.
And I think right now a lot of people still would consider him to be kind of like in the top 3, top 5.
Yeah, but I mean, just there's no way for him.
Just based on the tier list of who we have up here.
Okay, yeah.
Who you think he could?
Yeah, I just think that the likelihood of him winning is pretty low. Warren will outpace him easily.
Well, let's move on to Warren then.
Yep. Warren is cool. I love the way she speaks. The way she talks is really cool.
Warren is cool.
No, she is. Anyway, I mean, you get the mom vibes from her or whatever, but she does have mom vibes. Just, I mean, that's the way it is. Just like Buttigieg has dad vibes. Like, you can see him kind of like putting like a 5-year-old kid on his shoulders and them going to the like carnival or something. Like, yeah. But either way, and Bernie Sanders has grandpa vibes. Great grandpa vibes. Anyway, no, but she's cool. I like her quite a bit. She's extraordinarily detailed. I think she also has the characteristics needed to make her a leader. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that is fundamentally helpful, not just in an election, but in re-election in 2024.
I think she has a good shot of winning the primary, but do you think she'll run some issues come the general election?
Yes, actually, she will not.
Biden has Trump quite a few times.
Yes, the issue, the reason I like her is because she's not like Trump as much in the way she speaks. Kamala Harris, if we're gonna compare them, those two, and even with Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, as far as strategy is concerned, will probably do better than anyone else with the data we've seen through the last debate.
Purely kind of like the one-on-one debate stuff.
Yeah, because it'll all be rhetoric and kind of personal attacks and stuff like that. And Kamala seems to do very well in that setting. Whereas as Buttigieg, he may articulate very well, and he might get the more high-minded individuals would go for him, I guess you'd say. Well, I mean, just the way he comports himself and the way he speaks.
But he might come across maybe a little soft-spoken or a little kind of like he got steamrolled over.
Especially compared
by someone like Trump.
Exactly. And I think you may see a similar issue with Warren. Warren may actually be able, I don't know. Yeah, no. She's just not as skilled as Kamala Harris when it goes down to
put her
strategy.
In around A tier?
I want her in A tier, yes.
All right. Obviously, Yang Gang is S tier all the way.
No. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Hashtag Yang Gang.
Okay, I gotta see if I can do a Yang impersonation of him on stage.
North Korea.
Yeah. This is
You see, he had his shirt unbuttoned.
He's the only guy who wasn't wearing a tie.
That was
dude, and he was like, "What's up, my frat bros?" It was very very weird. Just the way, like, I don't know. It seemed like he was trying to make his neck bigger. By
he was very nervous.
Back.
Maybe he thought that would be a more intimidating.
Yeah, I guess he looked like a bouncer at a nightclub, not a primary candidate. If anyone's heard of Yang, you've probably heard he's the
we're on
guy.
The internet. If anybody's heard of Yang.
Yeah, then he's the universal basic income guy. That's he's actually quite smart, and his argument his argument for UBIs is interesting if it's still not plausible in this time in our history. Yes.
Maybe pushing the timeline a bit.
Yeah. I'd say Andrew Yang is ahead of his time by like half a century at least. At least. He'd probably be a good president in
I don't know. I think it might be a little more viable in maybe a couple decades.
You think so?
Yeah. If the right cards play out. If
we'll see how automation and things like that pan out first. It's possible. I think he'd be a much better candidate later on in his life, likely if we hit that time.
If he does continue in politics.
Yeah, no, but I do know he's a businessman, and he does actually have an interesting intersection of utilizing capitalism and government that I find quite interesting and novel, which, I mean, that's kind of cool. But just due to the fact that, I mean, his ideas...
And the way he comes across, I mean, he seems at the very least genuine in trying to sort of help the future of America, and particularly the labor force.
Oh, 100%.
On the inevitable, which is, the takeover of automation.
And robot uprising.
Exactly.
But anyway...
Terminator style.
But yeah, just due to the fact that he's just... his policies aren't plausible in today's political climate, or practical. I don't want to say plausible because, I mean... plausibility is more of a question of who likes the idea rather than whether or not it'll work.
Technically, you got everybody, convince everybody on board,
Yeah. But yeah, I'll put him. He's not F. Let's
drop him up the C tier.
You think so?
Yeah, let's give him C.
All right.
Shout out to all the Yang gang.
You give me. Yeah. Okay. We put.
I tried to give you Gillibrand in B tier, but
you're right. Okay.
And I mean, surprisingly, he's polling, he's in like 7th, so.
Yeah, I mean,
he's above, like somewhere in the middle of the pack, even slightly above a lot of these down here.
Oh yeah, no, Yang's pretty cool. I will not vote for him, but he's interesting.
We'll see if he even makes it to the.
Oh, he won't. Anyway,
the primaries. I mean, he might make it to the first couple states, but I don't know. All right, let's hit the Biden, and then we'll hit these two other.
All right,
rooms.
Biden.
S tier.
No.
Still Obama with me.
Yeah, in all honesty, Biden is. I mean, he's all right. He's the most known, obviously, just due to the fact that he was a vice president, and he's literally like been in office or some sort of office since the 70s.
Quite a while.
Yeah, I
think even before then.
That's like multiple of our lifetimes.
I think he was one of the youngest congressmen to be elected to office.
That's very well possible. And of course, like, he has a lot of personal back history, like tragedy going in there, which, I mean, that helps for politics, that personal kind of stuff. I mean, his most recent... the most recent tragedy, of course, was the passing of his son, Beau, who was a military veteran, and and I believe he passed away from cancer. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, there was also the car accident a while back as well, and there's a bunch of stuff over there, and with all that being said, I'm trying to push that aside, because I want to judge how they are.
Due to that history, obviously, there's quite a few issues which are a bit touchy in today's climate.
Oh yeah, I mean,
in today's environment.
Yeah, and well, the busing issue came up. As was shown
in the debates.
Yeah, I mean, the busing issue came up. There is a race issue. Actually, I don't want to say there is a race issue, but there are questions regarding race lobbied towards Biden. Oddly enough, he is polling the best with African American citizens.
Question: do you think, had he not been Barack Obama's vice president, he would be polling in the same way he is?
Oh no.
You think he's really riding on a lot of that support from?
He is. He wouldn't. He'd also not have the
multiple times.
He'd also not have the same name recognition. Sure. I mean, that's 100% true. And the fact that and I don't want this to. I don't want to make it seem like the fact that he was Barack Obama's first vice president was the only reason he's garnered a lot of support with the African American community, because he actually does have an extensive history with civil rights, and not just as far as race, but also going into
well, that's what I was asking. How much
sexuality?
How much role do you think that played?
His history is great, but I don't think that it would have helped with him garnering support if he wasn't the previous vice president. I mean, I think that, yeah. Yeah. That's self-evident. He'd be polling along with fucking.
I guess I was asking in particular more so the African American community.
Okay, with that voting block, I'm actually not sure, because he actually now he's running quite heavily on his civil rights record, or he mentions that quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's in response to attacks that are lobbied towards him, because that could be it, mm-hmm. and he's kind of being reactionary, or this is kind of the way he wants to go. If that's the case, he probably would have a certain amount of the African American vote, but I don't think he'd have as much, just due to the fact that he's gotten that name recognition.
So not entirely, but definitely playing a role.
Oh yeah, in that voting block, and of course, I personally don't like to ascribe to the idea that that certain demographics vote in these large blocks. Yeah. We're all individuals.
Sweeping generalizations.
Yeah. And I mean, that only comes along with statistics and stuff like that people kind of.
And I guess the final question would be: do you think he would win in the general?
No. Unfortunately. I
feel like we kind of have to put him in A tier.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you want to put him? Put him in B.
We'll throw him in B.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this is...
Put him with
we
Bernie.
don't want to just have it follow polling. I mean, this is with your own opinion as well. And
I like that better, actually.
All right, so real quickly, we'll touch on these last two.
Messam, I think is the name.
A mayor from... where was that? Florida?
Yeah. I'm gonna say he's F, because I've never even heard of him. He hasn't made the debates. I don't know his platform. I'd actually like to learn a little bit more about him, just because I mean I literally know nothing about him.
On eliminating student debt.
Okay.
That was one of his primary issues he was focusing on.
Okay. Did he propose a way in which he would do that?
Just a brief overview. I didn't go.
Yeah. See, I don't.
I mean, I'm sure you could probably find that.
Yeah.
Just what I saw.
Okay.
What I was reading was just very brief overviews of each candidate.
See, that was my problem with Bernie Sanders was whenever he was asked about paying for stuff, like it was I can't. So he may have actually said something.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I will. I'll do some research on it and we'll go back.
But now we're still in F.
Mm-hmm. Because again, Elizabeth Warren, she actually did utilize her plan to pay for everything, even though it may not mathematically work out. At least she has an idea that the wealth tax will be her method of payment.
Steps have already been taken to show how this can be implemented.
Exactly.
Not just grand ideas of what you want to get done.
So with that in mind, much more plausibility to Warren than Sanders. Sestic. Again, I've never heard of him. F.
Never heard of him. F.
You put him in the D by accident? Ooh. No.
All right, now we got Weld and Trump.
Okay, Bill Weld, I believe is the name, right?
Yes, he's run Libertarian in 2016.
Mm-hmm. Is he? What state is he? He's not. He's one of the northern states, right? Northeast.
Is it Alaska?
No, he's not Alaska. We got look that up because I swear he's northeast somewhere.
Look that up.
I could be very wrong, but I could have sworn.
Oh, he's actually in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Okay,
Governor.
so Northeast. Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of weird, especially isn't Massachusetts like pretty left?
Very much so.
Except for Boston's actually one of those odd places, an odd urban area that it's actually pretty mixed.
I mean,
for a
leans
city.
fairly left, yeah.
For a city, though, I mean, looking at if I'm remembering correctly, looking
Typically,
at demographics.
even candidates who run in Massachusetts tend to sort of take on a lot of more left-leaning policies. Like I believe Mitt Romney sort of took on a system similar to Medicare for All, I believe, in Massachusetts for the state. Or not, maybe not Medicare for All, but close to something along the lines of the Affordable Care Act in Massachusetts.
Actually, that's quite impressive.
It's interesting for a Republican sort of governor.
Romney's another story. Man, if only he ran instead of Trump. But he has some other issues.
Where are we putting? Well,
he will not. Actually, I don't even think that his primarying Donald Trump will cost him anything.
You don't even think it'll take a little?
It might take a couple
kind of
percent.
A thorn in the side, maybe.
It might take I'll say it'll. I'm gonna hard line. It'll take 0.5% or less. Which in maybe an extremely,
but maybe just kind of cause an annoyance or sort of a.
Little annoyance.
But you don't think it will have any effect?
No. It would have already had an effect otherwise. But that news cycle has already come and gone. In all honesty, yeah.
And then Trump. Where are we putting Trump?
Why'd we have to put him Why'd we have to Okay, we'll put him in A tier. In all honesty, his he is literally at least 50%
this is
likely
our own opinion
to.
as well, so that's going to contribute.
Oh, well, then I want him in F, personally. So we'll put him in D, maybe?
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. I like that a lot better.
Just get that over with. All right. So that about covers it. There are a few other candidates that I believe have thrown their bid in. As we mentioned, Swalwell has dropped.
Yep.
Mike Gravel, I actually read up about him. He's a 89-year-old former senator from Alaska. He served 69 to 81. So it was a long time ago, and from then he sort of dropped out of politics and moved into real estate and other sort of business ventures.
Yeah, no, that's a bad idea. He's not even in the F category. If you're in your 90s, dude, you could die tomorrow. Yeah, he could be dead now. We just may not know.
Nerve-wracking to actually vote for someone that old.
If you look at the average, average American lifespan is what, 76, 77?
Something like that.
Yeah. So, you're outpacing that by over a decade and then some.
If he theoretically made 2 terms, he would be almost 100.
Yeah, no. And statistically the percentage of the world's population that makes it to 100 is
there's a pretty high chance that he would actually die in office.
Yeah.
And that's not.
Yeah, that's not something we want.
And also,
well, we got to figure out who his vice president would be, actually. Yeah.
It'd be like a 35-year-old.
Be a millennial.
The lowest age possible.
He'd actually have Buttigieg as his vice president.
And Tom Steyer, who just joined.
I don't know a whole lot about him, but I know he's a
billionaire.
Yeah,
apparently he took out a bunch of ads already.
Oh yeah, national ads.
Flooding it.
Actually,
he's got the money to.
If we were going to rank him, I'd put him up with Tulsi Gabbard at this point. Tulsi and Yang and Gillibrand, just due to the fact that he's a billionaire. With those resources,
he's going to take the Democratic version of the Trump approach.
Yeah, well, I don't want to compare anyone to Trump. Trump is his own beast.
Maybe when it comes to campaign funding.
Yeah, in the method of campaigning, yes, but maybe not in that
maybe
the same
he'll hire
sentiment.
A porn star or two,
Oh yeah, and then make some crass comments and.
All right. On that note.
But yeah.
Any other comments you wanna? Who would you say, as far as interest you the most, but not necessarily being electable? You definitely think they're probably gonna drop out pretty early, but you have some interest in as far as in the future.
Gillibrand, obviously, I like. I don't think she'll get up there. I also, again, Yang is like, I kind of like to see how that.
The Yang Gang hype.
No. Just I would personally like to have I'd actually like to have a conversation with him and truly try to get to understand where he's coming from.
Further flush out.
Yeah. How does he or why does he think that his policies are relevant now rather than relevant in, say, 2035 or 2050, 2075, or in the future? I want to know what makes him think that we're going to need that so soon. In addition, let's see who else up there. I also really want to see what Williamson's got going on in the future. Yeah,
another book.
Yeah. Yep, more self-help stuff. But what about you?
For me, I mean, I'll joke about it, but I mean, same as you, Yang's ideas I think are kind of interesting. Nobody else as far as down in this area. From what I heard from Moulton, it was interesting, but I'd have to look a little more into him to really say anything, because I don't know too much.
So at this point, who's your number one?
That's hard to say. I can't.
Yeah, or say top two.
I wouldn't even put anyone on my number one.
Say top two or top three, like, and in no particular order.
Kind of like, say, Booker, Warren, Judge.
Oh, not bad. Actually, Booker is one of my personal favorites as well. And Warren, just because the way she does things, she's awesome, and everyone knows my love for Buddha Judge.
So let's take a few comments real quick here.
All right.
Close this thing up.
What are our comments?
Where's the dog?
Oh, okay. We can get the dog.
Turn the music off. Okay, we did that. We took care of that.
Okay. Whew.
Grandma, Jeremy looks cute. Okay.
All right.
Have you talked about the spiritual queen?
The spiritual queen.
That was from your fiance.
Of course.
He needs to run for Senate. Who are you referring to?
Who needs to run for Senate?
Bring him out. Then with the dog again. This one's the dog.
Hey, come here, puppy.
Who were you referring to as far as to run for Senate? Was it O'Rourke?
O'Rourke should not run for Senate. I honestly don't want him in political office. But this is... Hey, come on, Pop. Come on.
While we get an answer for that, we'll continue.
Actually, there were other people that could... there was someone else who could theoretically run for Senate.
Williamson will be the Secretary of Christmas.
Yes, and that will easily be the case.
Love goes a long way, guys. I'm so disappointed.
This is a puppy. He will run for Senate one day. All right, we have brought the doggy out.
Love goes a long way, guys. I'm so disappointed.
Yeah. Not against Trump.
And a few other confirmations.
Any good takes?
Any good takes? Nah, that's about it.
Man.
Set up a cam and mic for Kenai.
We shall. He'll be...
input.
What do you think, Kenai? What do you think?
For?
Buddha Judge all the way. That was Kenai speaking. I interpreted for him. Yeah.
He told you.
He did. I speak Pitbull.
All right.
Or Staffy.
This went a bit longer than I expected.
Yeah. What time is it?
Wrap this up in 30 minutes. And it's almost an hour and a half now.
Dang it, man, dude.
So much just as long as the other one. About the same time, but that's all right. Talk about Trump. I dare you.
You stink, Trump.
Oh, you gotta get that tweet call out.
Take that. Yeah, if President Donald J. Trump mentions my name, I will be famous. like our
overnight.
Yeah, this little like live stream
So
of
I was watching these two guys in a bedroom.
yeah, like he's in the Oval Office just like trolling live streams. Like what?
Put like his at Trump in the.
Oh yeah, really just
comments.
send it directly towards him.
Next time we'll set up that Twitter account.
Yeah, what is he? One of our like
Trump him.
7 or 8 viewers.
Yeah, he's the 8th viewer.
Yeah.
That was a lot of people to cover. Yes, it was. That's why it went so long. I looked at the time, we're only like the third candidate, and I was like, oh, it's almost 30 minutes already.
God dang. I tried to be quick too with some of
Gabbard
these
alone
people.
took like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I
I was like, all
yeah.
right, we need to speed through this a bit quicker.
Yeah.
But that was supposed to be our quick and little lighthearted discussion.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed that quite a
Wednesday.
bit. It was
Get back on the more serious topics
on Sunday, yeah.
Sunday. That'll be kind of the schedule we'll go with. I think we are going to be setting up a Twitter.
Oh, yep,
So,
yep.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter.
Yes,
We'll
we are
have
at
links
something
after
soon.
We'll start. There goes the dog.
Anyway,
Uh,
that scared me.
we'll continue to come along and try to set up more social media and ways to interact and hopefully build an audience from that. But I think this was good. Anything else you want to add?
No, thank y'all for listening. And I do want to say, are we getting the donation link up by Sunday?
Yeah, I already have that hooked up, but we'll set that up so it's a little more
Accessible.
known and yeah.
Okay, cool. Also,
Businessman over here, he's like,
yeah.
Also, money.
Well, no. There's
I guess
also
that sponsorship didn't work out too well.
Yeah, man. They only slipped me 50 cents. You want a quarter?
50 cents every time you mention it. Drop the name a few more times.
Oh, yeah. ontheissues.org. This is just all I'm gonna say for the next like 3 hours. But no, do check that website out if y'all want to look at platforms. And this is actually it'll show their voting record as well and statements they've made on topics, and it's broken down pretty well. So definitely check that out if y'all want to get more informed on some of these candidates, like Pete Buttigieg. And what is our email if anyone wants to write into us any future topics that we might discuss?
The pluralist method at gmail.com. Just the name of our YouTube at Gmail.
Perfect. And that's all I want to say.
Matches on there. Like I said, well, I guess we'll be setting up that Twitter soon. But
yeah,
subscribe if you haven't already subscribed.
Yes.
I guess you can like this video after. From now on, I uploaded the last one because I wanted to trim off the front. There was some technical difficulties at the beginning, but this one should just directly go to our live streams, previous ones.
Nice.
Able to access it and review and get in there if they want, hopefully reach a wider audience.
Yeah.
And we'll the next one will be Sunday. What time are we thinking for that?
Sunday.
3?
Yeah, 2 or 3. Actually, let's set. Actually, if we have a Twitter up before then, we'll announce the live stream before we actually start, so we can get a bit of a wider base. Maybe we won't be interested.
Disclose our topic yet, but the hint is explosions.
That was a good hint.
All right.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
You have a good one.
Have a good rest of the week, and take care.
All right.
Signing off.